Peace, family. So, I want to put out this video because, one, I noticed that there's a lot of people that have this false idea of what consciousness is. And there's a lot of people who come into the spiritual world and they have no respect for the ancestors, they have no respect for this culture. And it just really irritates me because one, everybody has this false idea that spirituality is like this hocus pocus type of like Disney type of thing. And it's not even like that. And it really upsets me. And, it's become like a trend, like a fashion like statement. Everybody's wearing ankhs and, everybody will all of a sudden want to get into this lifestyle, but they don't even really know the truth about it. And it irritates me because people who are spiritual, people who are like chosen into this path, and don't get me wrong, everybody is a spirit by birthright. I'm not saying that nobody's not spiritual. People are spiritual and they don't even realize it. But what I'm basically making this video about and is because I just had a conversation with one of my good friends last night, and it really irritated me on like a deep level because I try not to let external situations upset me, but it's like it just gets to this point, y'all, where it's just kind of like, how long can you be peaceful? How long can you keep your peace when you see so much craziness just going on around you? And it's just like, how long do you keep quiet? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like being the only sane person in a crazy ass world where everybody else thinks you're crazy. You feel me? And y'all know me, I don't really like ranting much, but it's just like it irritates me when a lot of these spiritual gurus, they come out, they do their videos, they have these workshops and these events, and they sell this lifestyle like this is like the best thing since sliced bread. But they don't tell you that when you open up your third eye, that you're not going to be able to close it back again. You feel me? It's kind of like watching the first if y'all have seen The Matrix, the first one. It's like when I forgot homeboy's name, but it's like he woke up from the Matrix and he saw what the world really was like, but he wanted to go back. You feel me? He says, I know that this is not a steak that I'm really eating. He was like, but I miss how life really was. I miss how things was before I was conscious, before I was woke. You feel me? There weren't serious repercussions to your actions. We all was sleep at one point in time. And this is why I don't condemn or I don't try to look down upon people who are not technically conscious of what's going on politically, spiritually, economically, everything, right? Like there's levels to this. And I was just watching some videos last night. You feel me? Like after me and my friend had this conversation, my mind is all over the place. Probably because it's new moon energy in Gemini, and y'all know I'm a Cancer. I already told y'all like Cancer's minds is going to be all over the place, and not only just Cancers, but a lot of people's Gemini. Gemini rules like the intellect, the planet Mercury. So a lot of our minds is just kind of scattered, very active, and the thing that's on my mind right now and I just had so much activity on my mind. I was talking to my friend and I was like, don't it upset you that there's so much craziness going on in the world and people just go about their day like this is normal? Like, doesn't it come across people's minds that, you feel me? Like, life is more than just waking up just to go to work and slave all day to come back, go to sleep and do it again. Like, life is not, like, if you realize it, we've been programmed and trained and groomed to be slaves since we came out our mother's womb. You feel me? Like since we was in daycare, since kindergarten. You feel me? Since we were like the ages between like what? They put us in a school system. They force parents to put us in the school systems when we're like 4 or 5 years old, depending on where you are in the world. But I know in America here, the state of New York forces parents to put their children in either a public school or some type of schooling system by the age of 5. If you are not in school by the age of 5, then your parents can go to jail and the state can take your children from you. So the government makes these laws where it forces parents to do things against their will. It's like you have to put your children into this slave society, this mental this mental imprisonment system to get them trained. Because when we're kids, remember, like, our minds are sponges. So they've been indoctrinating us in the school system since we were 4 or 5 years old. Basically, they've been training you that, look, if you gotta go to school, you gotta listen to the teacher, you gotta listen to authority. You feel me? Like, the principal of the school is like the warden. It's like a prison. It's just like the prison system, right? Forgive me, y'all. Like, I'm just really irritated right now. So the school, like, since we were 5, since we were young, like, they've been training us. If you want to speak, you got to raise your hand. If you want to do anything, you got to raise your hand before you speak. You got to ask to use the bathroom. You got to get a pass or a slip just to go to another class or to go somewhere else. If you got to be in the hallways, you got to have a pass or a note or some type of written paper from your teacher, right? Which is like the officers that make sure that you're doing what you got to do, because the officers are under the warden, which is like the dean or the principal. When you're in school, you have a certain time where you have lunch, and then you have a certain schedule, certain periods where you have only a limited time to go out and play, then you got to come back inside. Then in school, I don't know what school y'all went to, but I went to public school, right in Brooklyn, right in Fort Greene, you feel me, like right across the street from the projects. So in the public school system, they treat us some type of way. You feel me? Like, they used to have the windows kind of boarded up where you couldn't even really look out the window. You feel me? So you was pretty much like in school, not really having much sunlight, where you had to be forced to listen and obey, and you had to put up your 2 fingers when a teacher does this. I don't know about y'all, but when a teacher does this, that means quiet. Everybody be quiet. Be quiet, hold hands, don't speak until I'm done speaking, or raise your hand, you gotta speak. And then we're taught this from elementary school to middle school to high school. Then when we graduate from high school, we get into college, and we still got to obey these rules by our professor, the dean of the college, like all of that. And then when we finish college, after all of those years of going to school, all of those years of college, we get what? A piece of paper. And all the school system really is just, they basically say, they give you these honors, they give you these badges of approval, basically saying all you have to do is remember everything I say and regurgitate it on a test. All the way that the school system measures your intelligence is based upon your memory. Who can regurgitate and memorize all of this fake indoctrination that we're putting into your heads? Whoever can memorize the most bullshit, they get a badge, they get honors, and they get to move on. You feel me? That's all it's really about. And then if you're a rebellious child, if you're the child that's like, no, this is lies, I don't want to study this, no, none of this is true, oh, I don't have to listen to you, what they do, they put you on detention. They put you on punishment, right? And they make an example out of you that teaches you since you were a kid, if you don't respect and listen to authority, this is what's going to happen to you. So they make an example out of you, and they show everybody else in the class that don't be like this person. Don't stand up to authority. Obey, bow down, and submit to your superior. And that's what they're teaching our babies. This is what they've been teaching us. So it's like this been going on for generations. The European settlers came and they ravished the Native American lands. You feel me? They came here and they made us forget who we are. They took away our knowledge. They killed our ancestors. They killed the elders, okay? The elders had all the knowledge. They burnt the libraries. They made you think that they burnt the libraries and the books, but they really just took all of that knowledge and kept it for themselves, and they're using that science against us. That science is what we practice today. Some may call it witchcraft. Some may call it metaphysics. Some may call it occult knowledge, alchemy, okay? Magic. That's what it is. And what they did was they tricked us into thinking that what we're studying, which is our natural birthright, is evil. So now they built these churches and they gave us these false religions telling us, if you don't worship this image here, if you don't worship the Bible, if you don't worship the Quran, if you don't worship this, then you're evil, you're a witch, and you need to be burned. That's what the witch trials was all about. People won't tell you that, but that's what the witch trials was about. They were burning the women, the medicine women who were the healers of the land. And they knew that They knew that these women were the ones that was protecting the men, the soldiers, the warriors. Like it was these women that were giving birth to these powerful warriors, to these the children. They was teaching them like, and whew, Lord, it irritates me, yo. And the fact that I was telling my friend all of this, do you know when I told my friend like, yo, like how do people go about life just living like this, like not putting their heads up to once question why? You feel me? Why? Why do I work like this? Something about this is not right. People never question. And so then, I asked him, I said, what do you think about that? Like, why do you think people just live day in and day out? Like, do you think that's the way to live? He said, well, it's life. I swear to God, y'all, when he said that, I broke. Like I just snapped. I was like, what you mean that's life? That's not life. Life is not about just being a slave all your life to work. Because once you finish, think about it, once you finish college, most of us is in debt. So it's like the system is set up for us to always have to be indebted to who? Who do we owe money to? First of all, America is a corporation. The Federal Reserve is its own entity. There are families that own the banking system, they own the money. So who do we really owe money to? We're all just collateral. That's all we are. We're just a whole bunch of sheep and animals like they hoard until like they're training us, breeding us so that we can be slaves and pay off whatever debts that we owe these people. You feel me? Like it's levels to this, and I just get irritated. So when he was like, "Well, that's just life," I'm like, "No, I don't choose to subscribe to that." And then he says, "Well, it's not going to change." He said, "Life been messed up. Life been messed up," and he said, "There's nothing you could do about it." He said, "Martin Luther King couldn't change it. Malcolm X couldn't change it. Nobody could change it. So what makes you think you could change it?" And I'm just like, "Are you serious? It's that mind state, it's that state of mind right there that got us in the situation right now because everybody is afraid everybody's afraid to make a change. Everybody thinks that, well, this person couldn't do it, so I can't do it either. And that's what these powers do. They see somebody that's standing up and rebelling and they make an example out of them so nobody else can rise up. But imagine if everybody one day just woke up and said, you know what? We don't want to go to work anymore. We don't want to subscribe to this false matrix, this fake system that was built and designed to keep us like sheep. This goes way back, like way before. People don't even realize that it's not even, I don't care how crazy I sound, it's not even humans that run the world anymore. Like there are beings that have infiltrated our government. Y'all need to research reptilians, first of all. Okay, the Anunnaki. Y'all need to research these things. I need to read the Emerald Tablets. I be trying to drop bombs and jewels on y'all, and whether YouTube be messing up my streams, whether my videos go be deleted. Like it's so much stuff. There's so much information out here, and for people to just be walking around every day acting like everything is okay, it just irritates me because I feel like for the people that are awake, we have a responsibility to do. And if we don't step into our power, if we don't step into our responsibility, then there are going to be huge repercussions. So this is why I put these videos out. These videos is not for likes and subscribes and for people to like me. I don't care about that. It's all about waking people up. So when my friend asked me that rhetorical question, he says, well, if you don't like the world, he said, well, if you hate the way things is run, if you hate the system so bad, then what you going to do about it? And then he made me think about it. And he's like, you know what? I am doing something about it. I'm not going to be that person who just complains and whines and cries about how the world is a bad place. I am making a difference. Whether it's just, if I could change one person's life, if I could wake up at least one person and make people see where I'm coming from, then that's a job well done. You feel me? At least I could leave this world and say, you know what? I at least ignited that spark in one person. I changed somebody's life. I woke somebody up. I made a difference in some way. And imagine how energy is contagious. You feel me? Energy is contagious. I told him, I was like, look, you got to think about how contagious energy is. Think about when you wake up in the morning, right? That day could go two ways. It could go either good, which is positive, or it could go bad, which is negative, right? So let's say, okay, boom, you're running late for work, right? Your car breaks down, so you got to take the bus. Now you're running to go catch the bus. The bus is about to pull off, but somebody that doesn't even know you holds the bus for you to make sure that you get on it as a nice little gesture. That one nice gesture right there makes you happy. It brightens up your day, and that makes you want to also pass on that positive energy to somebody else, right? Right? So think about it if the situation went the other way. Imagine you running late for work, right? And somebody bumps you on the bus and they be like, watch where you going, stupid, and they call you all types of names, or racist or whatever, sexist, whatever remark that irritates you or pushes a button. Now that day has started off very ugly. Now, because you have this anger, this attitude, you might take that to work. Now you might start arguing with a coworker. You might start arguing with your manager. That might make you get laid off or whatever. Like it's like a domino effect. So we have to realize that energy is very contagious. If a person has this one little small gesture, one little spark, one little ignite of knowledge, whatever you could do can change one person's life. It's like a domino effect. So that person that you touched in whatever way, now they want to spread that knowledge onto somebody else. You feel me? You only need one flame from one candle to light a dozen candles in a room. That first candle is not gonna. That flame is not gonna be. That flame is not gonna diminish just because you lighten other candles with that one candle. You get me? Like you could light a ton of candles with just one flame. Now you just lit up the whole room by one flame. So one person can make a difference. And that's my argument to the person who said that to me, that one person can't change the world. I disagree. I think that it does start with us. And my friend made a good point too, though, because he said, listen, he says, you can't change the world until you look at yourself. You got to make sure that you're good first before you try to help anybody else. And that's a fact. And so I want to put out this video to pretty much let you guys know that you can't just be pointing your fingers at the next person and saying, well, that person's not living right and that person's not doing this right and da-da-da. If you're not living right, I feel like if everybody just took some time out of their life to focus on themselves, to look at their issues, to go inside and say, what are my fears? What's blocking me? What do I need to do? What's my purpose? If everybody took that time to just focus on their own business, they wouldn't be so worried about everybody else around them. And we will actually have probably more peace in this world. But because people live in this world where we're always comparing ourselves to others, with social media, it's like, our friends could look like they're living this lavish life. They travel, they wear nice clothes, they got their makeup a certain way, they look like their marriage is going good, they got their kids. But meanwhile, we only see at least like 1% of their life. We don't know how that person's really living. We don't really know what's really going on behind the scenes. You feel me? You could be sitting here idolizing somebody's life is not even what it looks like on the outside. You feel me? Like it's a completely different thing when you're on the outside looking in. This couple could be happy. Matter of fact, I know a couple personally. They post the best pictures on Instagram all the time, looking like they're like the fairy tale happy couple living happily ever after. But I know them, and I know for a fact all they do is argue and fight all day. They cannot get along. But they only get along that one split second when they got to take photos so it could look good for the gram. Right? Do it for the gram. We all live in this fake, false reality, and now we're really in the 3D world. Where now it's like the world of technology, the world of the natural world, and then the spiritual world. You feel me? Like there's levels to this. The technical world, the digital world, is a world within itself. Shit just gets crazy, bro. Whew, let me take a deep breath. I hope y'all okay. I know I just needed to get that off my chest. I needed to vent because it's like when you being an empath, being a spiritualist, when you wake up your third eye, it's a very lonely road. It's very lonely. It's very depressing. And if anybody's watching this and you feel like you're by yourself, you don't know who to talk to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel you. Like, on a deep level, I do. And there's so many other people who can relate to you. You're not in this by yourself. Stop comparing yourself to everybody else because you think that they're living a life that you're not. Stop feeling like you're behind and everybody else is ahead of you. You can't compare yourself to nobody else but yourself. If you're going to try to compare yourself to get better, then compare yourself to the person that you used to be yesterday. Compare yourself to the person you was a year ago, 10 years ago. Have you grown? Have you evolved? Have you learned anything since then? If not, then it means that you need to readjust. You need to change your goals. You need to reevaluate what you're doing in life. This is your life. This is nobody else's life. Nobody is going to step in and say, hey, let me take over your life and help you be the better version of yourself. It's never going to happen. Nobody's going to come and save you. You have to save yourself. Okay, there's no alien in the sky, no Messiah that's going to pop up. Nothing is going to come and save you. You are the Messiah that you're waiting for. You are the God that you're waiting for to come back. You are the sleeping God inside of this physical incarnation. This is your cocoon. This physical image here is a cocoon for your spirit. And you have to be the one to wake up the God inside of you. And that's the point where I'm here. No matter if it's the sacrifice, no matter what it takes, if that's what it takes to help to evolve this planet is to wake up more people, then I will vow to do whatever I can to wake up as many people as possible. So that little conversation that me and that friend had last night, it just made me want to work even harder. When somebody tells you you can't do something, it makes you want to prove them wrong. It makes you want to say, you know what? Because you said I can't do it, now I have no choice but to do it. Now I have to prove you wrong. You feel me? So that's exactly the message that I want to spread to you guys is don't let people talk you out of your dreams. Don't let people tell you that you can't do something because they don't see it for themselves. That maybe it's not meant for them to be successful, to do whatever, you understand, whatever you have envisioned, but that's your goal, that's your dream, and you got to protect it by all means necessary. You feel me? And this is a hard pill that I'm learning to swallow. Honestly, I feel like people sell the spirituality conscious dream like, oh yeah, once you open your third eye, everything is going to be peaceful, life is going to be easy, problems are not going to come. Oh hell no. You're going to have way more problems because now the spirit's going to hold you accountable for learning how to solve it, because now you opened up portals and now your ancestors is looking up to you because you are the ambassador of your bloodline now. You are the ambassador, and they're all looking up to you because 99% of us in this chat room right now is only probably, we're the only ones, the ones who's watching this, we're probably the only one in our family who is woke or who is lighting candles and ancestor money and doing the spiritual work so that our ancestors cannot be forgotten. I recently watched that movie named Coco. Shout out to everybody that's been telling me watch it. It's like, I think it's a Disney movie or something like that. They have it on Netflix now. But Coco is an animated film, and it basically talks about like venerating your ancestors. What happens when you forget about them? What happens when you forget your bloodline? They disappear. There is a world outside of this world. There's the world of the dead. There's the world of the living. And we are not that far from each other. Parallel universes. Research the different dimensions in the parallel universes and how they affect us. This is also in the Emerald Tablets. The Emerald Tablets, they have a free audio book on YouTube, and they also have the free PDF that you can find online. This information is free and it's accessible and it's right in your face, but they won't tell you this. This is the stuff they won't teach you in school. Anyway, it's very important that we don't forget our ancestors. This is why the conquerors came and they burnt down our libraries. They took away our knowledge. They took away our language. They took away our heritage, everything. And then they put these lies in our head because they knew that if we forgot where we come from, if we forgot our ancestors, if we forgot our gods, then they would lose energy. Just like that show American Gods. I don't know if they're making a sequel to it or not, or season 2, but you don't even hear nothing about that anymore. American Gods is a really good show. I think it aired about a year ago or 2 years ago, but it's really good, guys. If you could try to watch the season online, please do. But basically, they was talking about how now times have changed and now there's a war based upon the gods that are being worshipped and the gods that are being forgotten. And there's a war between the gods to be worshipped more by humans. We got to understand that the spirits need us. Gods need us. If humans decided that they will no longer worship deities, that we forgot about them, then they will perish too. This is why you realize that whenever we think about angels and demons, right? Angels and demons, they have to respect the law of free will. They cannot exist. They cannot make things change without human interaction. Because if they didn't need us, then they would have been wiped us off the face of the planet. There's jinn, there's jinn, there's angels, there's demons, there's fairies, there's fae, there's Neteru, there's so many different forces of energy, entities that we don't even know that exist. Like, it really gets deep, y'all. And it's just so much that could be covered in one segment. And this is why I want to start these classes as soon as possible, because I really feel in the pit of my stomach and my soul that something is coming. And for the people that have not been venerating their ancestors and feeding their gods and the ancients, the elders of our bloodline, something really nasty could happen. And this is why there's such a huge agenda to make us forget. This is why there's, and then I'm gonna do another video on this too, but there's these fake witch hunters on YouTube, okay? There's these fake witch hunters all around that's out here spreading lies about, the spiritualists in the community, trying to create drama between the different witches, spiritualists, brujas, healers, empaths, the divinists, the psychics. Like, they're causing up drama because think about it. If y'all read the 48 laws of power, if you want to destroy somebody, you got to destroy their image. So now they've taken they witch hunts in a whole nother level. Now what they're doing is they're infiltrating the spiritual conscious community by acting like they're patrolling or acting like they're dropping knowledge. But what they're doing is they're making the truth, they're mixing the charlatans and the true people together all in one bunch, saying that everybody's fake. Just like the Bible is full of lies, but it's also full of some truths. So that's why they just want you to throw the whole Bible away automatically. But there's some truths in the Bible. That's why you don't want to throw it away. That's why you don't want to just throw out all the ideas in the Bible. Because the Bible is one of the most powerful witches' handbook. And I recently did I posted about that on my Instagram. If y'all guys don't follow me on Instagram. My name is Brooklyn Brew High. So when I'm not posting on YouTube, I'm always doing little videos and posting things on my Instagram feed. That way, I'm dropping little bombs here and there, little jewels here and there. You feel me? But be careful of false prophets. Be careful of infiltrators. Whenever we had any type of good organization going for us, we always hear about infiltration. Infiltration. And all the mystery schools. And whatever organization of enlightenment that was trying to bring humanity out of darkness, you always hear about CIA or some type of governmental forces or secret societies that come and infiltrate. And they contaminate what's sacred. You feel me? TGIF, y'all. That's the only thing I can say. Like, today is the Goddess of Love Day, and I should be more peaceful and loving right now, but sometimes we got to show tough love. And now I'm calling y'all out. Like, if you know you got spiritual gifts and you know that you have a calling and you know that you have a destiny to do something bigger, you got to stop settling for a mediocre life. Because if you have a large, why you feel like you're in a cage, this is why you feel like your back is against the wall. That's because that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing at this point in time to get you focused, to get your attention. Even if it's dramatic measures. That's what they have to do. That's how your spirits get your attention. So first, they just give you a little nudge. They be like, okay, well, you see the numbers, right? The angel numbers, 222, 333, 444. That's when they're finally trying to get your attention. That's just them giving you a little tap. Then when you start losing your job and your relationships is not working out and everything in your life just seems to be going down the drain, and you understand the reason why you're losing your job, the reason why you're having money problems is because the spirit is trying to redirect your focus and basically telling you this money stuff is not real. Give it up. Let it go. And the best way to make you let go of something is to make you lose it, so that you can understand what life is like without it, because we're not about to have money anyway. And I know I can get in trouble for saying this, but first of all, guys, you have to start preparing to have yourself set up where if today or tomorrow money doesn't exist, what if everything was to shut down? What if there is no more energy, no more power? You understand? You can't eat money. Money, you can't drink it, you can't eat it, it's not going to keep you warm. So what are you going to do? Do you know any ways to survive? Huh? Like how all you really need, the basic things in life is food, clothing, and shelter. Look at the birds, look at the squirrels, look at the animals, look at them. Like, do you think they worry about like money? Do you think they worry about that? No. They need the basic necessities: food, clothing, and shelter. That is what you need to live, to survive. But some way, somehow along the line, we got conditioned to think that we need these greenbacks, these dead presidents, this dinero to keep us alive. It's not until we lose all the trees, until we have to pay for oxygen, until we start realizing that money really has no value. And I really hope that it doesn't have to get to that point, y'all. But now I'm calling y'all out, and now I'm saying, for all of the people watching this, you have a responsibility. You came into this world at this point in time. You woke up for a reason. You think it was a coincidence that you woke up? There are no coincidences in the universe. You should already know this by now. It's the law of cause and effect. You consciously made the decision that you wanted to come here on this planet at this particular time. Okay? Everybody said this is a really crazy time in the world, da da da. Yeah, well, you chose to come here at this time. Why do you think you did that? You didn't come here because you didn't think you could handle it. The universe wouldn't put you somewhere where you couldn't handle a situation. You came here because you have a destiny to make the world a better place, however that may be, whether you're a healer, whether you're a teacher, whatever you're supposed to do. You feel me? Like, everybody has their own divine purpose. However you decide that you want to do it, it's ultimately up to you. But as long as as long as your destiny revolves around evolution, how are you helping the world, the human race, the whole entire ecosystem? How are you helping it to evolve, to grow? Are you a part of the ascension, or are you a part of the destruction? You got to ask yourself that, because there is no middle ground. It's either you're contributing, or you're taking away. Life is not about what you can take, because everybody could take. The life is full of takers, right? But nobody wants to give. Everybody wants to take. Give me, give me, give me, give me. It's all about me. What about me? What about my stuff? What about my needs? Like, Mother Earth is providing space for us, and we're killing her. We don't realize that Earth is an actual living thing. Like, Earth is an entity. It's breathing, living. It feels. Just like we have feelings, just like we have spirits, the earth has a spirit. The earth has a body. You feel me? And people fail to realize that. Everything around you is alive. Everything around you. Just think about it. Everything came from the soil of earth. Everything came from a mineral from earth. Everything around you did. Everything did. You did. Right? So I want you guys to start focusing and changing your perspective on how you look at the world, how you look at the world around you, inside of you. Like, there's levels to this, y'all. You should be studying every day. You should be trying to be better than you were yesterday by any means necessary. Yes, I talk about, yes, my name is Conjure Queen. Yes, I talk about magic. Yes, I talk about spirits. Yes, I talk about rituals. But we also have to realize that it's bigger than just casting spells and incantations and all of that magical, mystical stuff. It's bigger than that. Because you could cast spells and do money candles and love rituals all you want to. But if you're not changing the problem in your life, then you're not really contributing to nothing. Magic is not supposed to just help you get by day to day. Like, you're doing money, and I'm not condemning nobody, because look, we still living in this physical world. So we still need to find ways to get money, to have friends, to have acquaintances around us to help us to fulfill our purpose. But that's not the end all be all. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys and teach you guys. This is what I want to start teaching in my classes, because I don't want people to think that magic is just about candle magic and the lower level stuff. It's about learning the lower level stuff so that you can get by. But ultimately, it's like, you want to be so magical, so powerful. You want to understand the universal laws and the principles so much, where you could just manifest whatever you want without having to light a candle. You can manifest it right before you at a split of a second. That's the level that you want to be on. That's the level that we're aiming for. That's the level that our ancestors was on. And we can't figure out those keys until we access them, because the Akashic Records is accessible to all of us who are ready and willing to look. It's inside of our blood. Why do you think that they want you to donate your blood? Why do you think that they want you to do all these blood drives? And when you go to the doctor, every time you turn around, they got to take blood from you, take samples from you. Oh, Ancestry.com. Everywhere I go, I'm seeing these Ancestry.com ads all over Facebook, all over wherever I go. And I'm like, what are they trying to do? Why do they want me to give my DNA so bad? What y'all trying to take from me, huh? Like, what? Like, I just can't anymore. It's really irritating to my soul. It's very irritating to my soul. Let me take a breath. Let me take a breather. Spinks is like over here, like, mommy, what's up? Like, he feel me. He know I'm upset right now, and that's why he's over here. Anyway, guys, sorry to rant. I sometimes, I study Buddha. And one thing I love about Buddha is that Buddha has taught me that you can't allow external events to take your peace from you. And that's what I learned last night when I was having that conversation with my friend. He said, you can't let all of this take you out of your place. Like he said, you can't let the world take you out of yourself. Like he says, all you can do is focus on yourself. He says, take care of you and everything's going to be all right. He said, the world is always going to be a mess. He was like, but as long as you have your peace, you should be fine. And then it reminded me that you should never allow anybody or anything to take your peace from you. And sometimes it's just it's a challenge. You feel me? The temptations never go away. The lower level desires, the lower level things never go away. That temptation is always going to be there. They'll never teach you that. And I'm about to go in a second because my phone dying. But just understand that you have a responsibility in this world. And there's a thin line between being passive and not doing anything because you're trying to remain peaceful. But just think about it. You feel me? Even for the light workers who always say, do harm unto none. Listen to me. I want you to hear this. Hear me out. Think about it. If the nice people stood around and they just watched evil get away with doing whatever they wanted to do, saying, hey, we'll wait for karma, we'll wait for things to happen, evil will always get away. And that's exactly how we got in a situation now, because our ancestors believed in following the universal law of the light and things like that. And that's why they didn't believe in killing and harming and doing all of the reckless stuff that the invaders did. The invaders had no ethics, no moral code. That's why they was able to slaughter them and do whatever they wanted. You feel me? So now we are our ancestors reborn. We learned our lessons before. We told the invaders we'll be back. And when we be back, we're going to come back with a vengeance. And that time is now. We are living in the end times. We are living in Revelations where things are being revealed. So we got to think about what the ancestors did, how the Haitians overthrown the European powers. How did they overthrow their conquerors? They used magic, their spiritual alchemy. We have spiritual technology. That is our strength. You have to know your enemy's weakness. Study the art of war. You have to know who your enemy is. You have to know who you are. And you have to understand what your strengths are and capitalize on that. But anyway, I want y'all to just think on everything I said. Hopefully this message has moved you in some way. It sparked something inside of you to challenge yourself to be better. It's time that we start doing stuff. It's time that we stop being passive and just waiting for things to happen. The spirits need us, just like we need them. And we got to work together and stop being so afraid of our power. So that's all I have to say, guys. I hope y'all enjoy your Friday. Y'all have a good weekend and continue to keep spreading love, light, and truth. Until next time, Conjure Queen signing out. Peace.